yourself.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me as always is the mater to my Lightning McQueen, Bradford Oman.
Well, hi, that's me.
Okay, that's not exactly what he sounds like.
It's me, mater.
That's not at all how he sounds.
We'll come on down here and get me a nice tow truck.
Try to do mater for real.
That's as close as I can get.
that actually was him doing Mater
That's
for real.
me trying to be Larry the Cable Guy.
And our other co-host, who's the little Italian guy that really keeps the show running? You know, he's like
I don't know.
the little Italian car that keeps the light.
I'm pretty sure one of them's named Mario.
Yeah, Mario. That's
I don't know if that's right or not, but
We're gonna say it's Mario, the little guy. You know, what
hey,
I'm
would
talking
you
about.
like a meatball?
That's a great Mario.
Hey guys, no, seriously though, I do want to say something before as I'm looking this over. This is a big deal. So
What? What's going on?
the new Monsters movie is out. You haven't seen it.
Okay, that's enough of that.
No, Nate, no.
You stop it.
So this is Go Flix
Stop
Yourself. We are on a movie podcast. We talk about movies with our good friends Brad Oman and Nate Ford-Laux.
What are you doing?
He's
NPR
doing like
over here?
NPR.
Yeah.
And there's sweaty balls.
Good times.
Gonna get down into it with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian.
Oh boy. So yeah, this is a movie podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're tuning in, hopefully you like it. There's a lot of
5
bullshit,
stars.
a lot of silliness. Yeah, feel free to give us a rating of 5 stars. Subscribe to us on the old Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher,
Lug Life.
yeah, Earplug,
Yep. Spot Hero.
Sound Canal. That actually sounds like a pretty good podcast.
Sound Canal.
outlet. Yeah, we should probably do that.
It's actually probably a real one. So thanks to Sound Canal for sponsoring today's episode. They provided a lovely beverage for the show today. Brad, what did Sound Canal sponsor?
Actually, Sound Canal didn't send over a beverage.
Oh, they didn't?
No, what they did is they sent over a treat.
Oh,
A treat for
I don't know that. I don't know that I like
a
this.
treat for us all to try, and this wonderful following season that Ben so enjoys.
See, you can't just say Halloween.
Ben loves Halloween.
I do, but you can't just say Halloween and then expect me to enjoy whatever the fucking shit.
Ben will enjoy this Halloween treat from Goldfish.
There's a goldfish snack you want me
It
to try?
is Dunkin' Donuts themed pumpkin spice graham goldfish.
I thought you brought a bag of coffee with you. Honestly.
That's exactly what
Guys,
I'm not eating coffee grounds.
Everyone
I'm not
take a
eating
spoonful of coffee grounds.
That's what it looks like.
No, it
It's
is.
delicious.
No, it's a gold. So here, take some. So I'm gonna pass
Go
it.
ahead.
All right.
Take a little smidge of that, buddy.
Take some goldfish. Make sure you give some to our good friend Nate Laux. Try some of them graham goldfish, pumpkin spice flavored. Crunch and munch. Away. Ooh, Nate's crunching right into the microphone. I love it. I love when we hear the crunch.
I mean, those just taste like Teddy Grahams.
Yeah, honestly,
These are really good.
the pumpkin spice flavor is not as prominent as I thought it was going to be, but the grams, like these grams are really good.
Yeah, I don't.
These grams are really
I don't even taste the pumpkin part of it.
Yeah.
It almost tastes like
like a Teddy Graham,
like a spice
like a
kind of,
cinnamon.
Like a cinnamon.
Cinnamon
gram.
yeah, like
yeah.
a cinnamon. Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
I've never even heard of these. Where do you get them?
I found these at Target, but they're at a variety of places.
Dunkin' Donuts.
So I'm at the gas station.
Or well, I guess just Dunkin'. They're not just Dunkin' Donuts anymore. They're just Dunkin'. That's what they've been going by for a while now.
So Dunkin' Donuts goes from Dunkin' Donuts to Dunkin', and then they're like, you know what? Fuck it, goldfish.
So why
No, it's just a combo.
Why are the Dunkin' Donuts people in the goldfish world now?
I think that they just like there have been a lot of companies doing like crossover things where like they use their brand to like make a flavor of something else. You know
What movie is this about?
It's about Finding Nemo.
A little quick at the draw there. Okay.
So there you go. You got it. Nice goldfish limited edition Dunkin' Pumpkin Spice Grams.
Hey, Nate, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
I saw a movie. I was assigned to see a movie by my buddy Brad, who I did have to ask this at least a dozen times.
It was pretty funny in the text thread. What's my movie again? Like this morning.
Hey, Brad, did you ever assign me a movie? Yeah, fucking 2 days ago, buddy.
17 times now. Hey, Brad, what is that movie that you said again?
And then he did follow it up with, I don't want to look back. I don't want to look back in the thread.
I'm not going to look back.
I'm not looking. I'm like some kind of schmo. I'm not looking back at our previous text
You
messages.
tell me again.
So I did see Blinded by the Light from 2019, I think it is. Made by the same person that made Bend It Like Beckham. Did you know that?
Yes, indeed.
And so I had not seen this film, but I remember a couple years ago, obviously, seeing the trailer for it and thinking, that looked really good. Like, it looks good. I'm kind of partial. My wife's an immigrant. I'm kind of partial to the immigrant story. And so I really, really enjoyed this film, Brad. It was really good. I also happen to be a big Bruce Springsteen fan. So obviously there's part of it.
Does this director only do 5-syllable titles?
Wow, you really just honed in on that. Did you have to count it on your fingers?
I know. I saw him over there thinking, and I'm like, what is he thinking about?
Did you guys see me tapping my fingers on my thigh?
I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at Nate because he was so
blinded
describing
by
this
the
movie
light.
so joyfully.
Bandit like back gum. Okay, yeah, 5.
Like doing a haiku?
Yep.
One of my favorite lines in there is, it's like they talk about Bruce Springsteen. He's like, the drug line to all that is true in the shitty world. I'm like, that is so good. I'm going to use that all the time now. Essentially, it's about this immigrant family that is in England, and
a Pakistani immigrant family.
He's Pakistani, and he connects, right? He connects with Bruce Springsteen. It's set in the 80s.
And this was the time when like a lot of Pakistani immigrants were like very like, prejudiced against people, like, really just weren't shy about being very racist towards, a lot of Pakistani people who were living in the UK at the time.
Wait, who is being racist? Like
people living in the UK.
Yeah, but I like you were pretending that like that was back at that time.
Well, no, but I mean, they're like, obviously things have changed,
Brad, everything's fine now, Brad.
No, not that everything's fine now, but obviously it's not quite.
Brad sees no color.
Not quite this so bad. Like it used to be just like a very, prominent thing where like it was kind of just like, well, yeah, of course we're going to be racist against them because they're different.
Especially, yeah. I mean, obviously we've got the history of Pakistan-British relationships. You've got all these things, and there was just a lot of turmoil and immigration, refugee kind of stuff going on in the world right then.
I'm totally up to speed on all that.
Well, so this is interesting because again, my wife, for our listeners, she's Romanian, grew up in Romania, didn't come here until college, but at that time in the 80s, very, very similar timing, they had a dictator, Nicolae Ceausescu, and so a lot of people fled Romania and they came over here. But what I love about it is she always tells the stories of like what she knew about America at the time. And it almost always involves music, almost always, because it made it there, right? And so she was a huge Michael Jackson fan, huge. I mean, Michael Jackson actually very famously did a concert in Bucharest. She cried for days when she wasn't able to go there. And then she became a huge Guns N' Roses fan, oddly.
Well,
right?
who wouldn't?
But so I thought about her because, again, I think sometimes, you don't realize what transcends and what makes it over into different cultures. Bruce Springsteen very famously writes about the middle class experience in America, the working class type of people. But that story does transcend to a group of people in England at the time who feel like they're on the outside. Yeah. Right. And even though, again, Bruce Springsteen is a white, guy that had a Catholic upbringing, who very, very kind of earthy kind of person. He doesn't drive around in gold cars or anything, these kind of things. But for some reason, I just love this idea but yet that story still transcends to somebody that's brown immigrant in England in 1987 or whatever. Yeah. I love films that teach me about otherness, that invite me into somebody's otherness, but do it very authentically and very truly. I just love this film. It was so good.
Managed to make it feel universal too. Like
there was another thing that I really like about it. Kind of again coming back to my wife's experience. So many people in America now, really from this kind of where these people came over, where my wife's country had a lot of immigrants. Didn't know how to deal with first generation kids, right? So their parents were raised in their home country. They may have even been born in their home country, but they're raising American kids. His parents are having a hard time because they're raising a British kid, even though he's Pakistani. And he feels British in many ways, but also he's reminded often that he's not.
Sure.
And so it's just a really interesting. I think it's got some funny parts to it. It's really well shot. It's fun. But also just. If you look below the layers, you actually do get to, I think, learn a lot about the immigrant story, told through the lens of somebody that really loves Bruce Springsteen. And it's a true story.
That's If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh boy,
So that's another 5-syllable.
But yeah, Blinded by the Light. I saw this movie when it played Sundance, and so I absolutely loved it. It's fantastic. And the thing for me is I'm not really much of a Bruce Springsteen fan. Not that I dislike him, I just don't really care. But it doesn't make the movie any harder to connect to. Like, you know, it's full of his songs, but like the way the songs are utilized and just the story it tells, it just really transcends, you know, any sort of like reservations you might have about liking his music or thinking that, oh, I don't like Bruce Springsteen, so I won't enjoy this. But you will. You for sure will.
And you get an appreciation for what kind of like poet Bruce Springsteen really is. That because it's the poetry, right? It's the words that's really resonating. It's not the music. It's not. Yeah. It's this story of struggle that Bruce Springsteen has that this young immigrant kid just really resonates with.
Yeah. My friends out in Boston, Massachusetts, their parents have Bruce Springsteen framed up on the wall, his photo,
like Jesus,
like across the way from a photo of Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and it's not a parody. Like they legitimately have that,
as they should.
Holy shit! I saw it when I visited. It blew me away. People do that. They really worship the guy.
Yeah, no, he's a big deal, and again, I actually, if you're not a fan of Bruce Springsteen, it's actually a nice kind of primer and introduction to some of his music. But you really don't have, even if you don't like Bruce Springsteen, great film still.
Brad, what did we make you watch?
One thing I want to add is a little humble Brad. I did get a quote for my review on a poster for this movie, which is
that why cool. You assigned? That's why you assigned.
That's why you keep assigning these movies.
Oh my word!
That's the only reason.
Every time.
All I want to do is brag about myself. So you'll only watch movies that I have approved quotes.
Hey Nick, Nick.
Hey, wow. Nick. Hey Nick, my good friend Nick, who I like and love on the podcast. This is this fucking guy over here. This is what he tries to do.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little hurt by that.
Yeah, and you know what? And the joke's not even worth it anymore.
You didn't even call me Neil, which is my dad's name.
Joke's not even worth it anymore. Don't even do it. Don't even do a joke.
No, I just said
you disgraced.
You're gonna watch The Big Sick next time because I was on the poster for it. Blah blah blah.
Have you seen The Big Sick?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Otherwise, that was gonna be your movie next time.
Don't worry, I got plenty more.
What did we make you watch?
You made me watch The Dead Don't Die, which is I thought this movie was like 5 years old, but it's only like 3.
No,
yeah, it's not that old.
Yeah,
is there a big difference between 5 years old and
a little bit?
Old?
5 years old is when I started to think like, oh, that was a little while ago, but like 3 years ago, especially, it's just the pandemic has messed up time for me. That's really what
so.
It is.
What'd you think?
So I wasn't expecting certain aspects of the movie, and I won't spoil them if you haven't seen the movie. But I feel like this is also a movie that like a lot of mainstream audiences aren't really going to enjoy because when it was marketed, it was fully marketed as a horror comedy in the vein of like a Shaun of the Dead or a Zombieland, but a little bit more dry.
Spoiler alert! It is not.
It is not laugh out loud funny, but it is funny to like a certain audience who does like movies by Jim Jarmusch, who is this indie filmmaker. Some might say he's a little bit pretentious. He's kind of like a record store version of Wes Anderson. I think maybe would be like the best way to describe
a more pretentious Wes Anderson.
Not more pretentious.
A more pretentious Adam McKay.
He's more indie than Wes Anderson is, because Wes Anderson is like a blockbuster hipster filmmaker.
Yeah.
And Jim Jarmusch works on a budget, and like he's a little less mainstream.
Gotcha.
But I did enjoy aspects of this movie. There's a meta element that I wasn't expecting. I love Adam Driver in this movie a lot.
Adam Driver is incredible.
He's so funny in this movie.
This is very performance driven.
Yeah, and it's a little bit self-righteous, you know, as some of these movies like this are, because like there's a very clear message about like the idea of like consumerism and like, you know, like it's not the zombies that we're all zombies, you know, because we want coffee and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. And so like it's, you know, the movie is pretentious in that way, I do think, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. It's definitely weird. And
I thought you'd like it for that. Just there's some
Bill
Murray interplay with Adam Driver, and Bill Murray is fantastic.
And I appreciate how he kind of like subverts your expectations,
exactly.
where it's not really what you expect from it. So it was enjoyable.
It was one of those films. I remember I started it once thinking that it was going to be like a Zombieland, right? Thinking that it was going to be a horror but comedy. And I turned it off, and I'm like, I'm going to watch this another time because this is not the mood I'm in, right? Like it had to be a mood that I was not in at that point. But it was very good once I hit it.
It's a fair statement.
Did you enjoy it, Ben?
I really did. That's actually why I gave it to you. It would be. I think also in this thing that we're doing with each other, I think it would be very strange. Like I hated this movie. I want you to watch it.
You guys won't let me do that because I keep on wanting to assign you guys.
But you take it too far. You take it like God's briefcase. Or here comes
God's briefcase.
Here comes Jesus on the football field.
Hey, Brad, now real quick, at the end of God's briefcase, what was in the briefcase?
Oh, it was love.
The whole time.
Yeah,
it was there the whole time. You just had to open it up. And
when the briefcase didn't have any footprints next to it, that's when the briefcase was being carried.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. I watched not the movie that you guys told me to watch.
Why not?
I had a very, very busy weekend.
Wait, did you really not watch it?
I really didn't.
What were you supposed to watch?
Why do I stress over watching this movie?
Just hold on. All right.
I'm disappointed.
What were you supposed to watch?
I was supposed to watch About Time.
Oof.
And so what I ended up watching was I watched Willow. And here's why. I was going to watch Willow, Little Women, and About Time. And then the weekend really did get away from me. We had our 40th celebration at La Porte Muscater. It was a fantastic time. And I, honest to goodness, on Sunday was so just destroyed from the 17 to 18 hour day that was Saturday that I wanted to watch About Time when I was in a good mood and I was looking forward to it. And so I was going to watch it after work today. I really was. Mm-hmm. So I threw on Willow at 1:00 in the afternoon when I woke up on Sunday as I know what this is. This is going to be a silly, fantasy movie that's kind of crazy. And I'm kind of into that right now. And it was actually really, really good for the mood.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. And then of course today, super busy at work. We're leaving on Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get to it. I'm so sorry. But I will watch it. I promise.
I don't feel like you are sorry.
I am sorry. No, I feel bad not watching it.
Why didn't you watch About Time a different day?
Before
the weekend. Yeah, we record on Mondays.
So we had we only had 6 to 7 days before we recorded again.
That's a good point.
So anyway, I don't have an excuse, guys. I watched Willow. It was fantastic. It was so
fantastic.
Really? Do you really like Willow?
So
I need to rewatch this because I don't remember loving it.
Here's why it was fantastic.
It's fine.
I saw it when I was 7, and it terrified me.
Yeah.
And now
that's what I remember.
And I watched it again, and it didn't terrify me. It was just so over the top that I loved every aspect of that part of it.
Is Jim Henson involved with Willow at all? Was he involved?
No, it's Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, Dark Crystal is what you're thinking of. With the puppets.
And I'm telling you right now.
And I think some of Labyrinth they did.
I think they were in Labyrinth, yeah.
I was in the mood for that movie, and that's why I liked it so much. Like, it's not a great film whatsoever. But I will say, in the opening, it's like the parental guidance thing, strong themes or whatever. And it says tobacco depictions is the only thing. And then 7 minutes into the movie, a woman gets mauled by 2 dogs and a baby floats down the river by itself. Yeah, and it's like, they don't care about that.
Well, they're fantasy dogs.
We also went hard in the 80s. We went hard.
Yeah, we did, because so Bailey and I watched it together, and every single time something horrible that would traumatize a child watching this, I was like, kids movie. This is a kids movie. I said that over and over. There's so many horrible things.
No wonder, right? No wonder we were traumatized watching it.
You should not watch.
I honestly don't have good memories of this.
You should not watch. If you're under the age of 13, this should be PG-13. Do not watch this. 10 years old, terrifying. And
I think I was
nowadays.
6
I don't know
7.
about that.
Well, that's fair. It's also fair, but there's a lot.
I feel like you got 10-year-olds watching Stranger Things.
My 10-year-old does. Yeah, loves it.
All right. Well, I don't have kids, so whatever. But anyway, it was fine. Last movie I watched though was The Gray Man, which I really liked. So that's a.
Did you like that?
I really did.
That was a Netflix film.
Yes, right? I enjoyed the hell out of it. Chris Evans plays the villain for once. He's.
Tell the people what it's about.
It is a CIA movie basically. Ryan Gosling plays a recruited by the CIA Billy Bob Thornton, and he's got to perform for the government, otherwise he goes back to jail. And it's a
they're dueling
conspiracy movie on the run where he's got an item and everybody's out to get him in the CIA, and the Chris Evans character is the one you call in when all else is lost, and he's a psychopath and he's gonna go for it, and he's no holds barred, and he does some really crazy wacky shit, and it's really fun to watch.
This is directed by the Russo brothers of Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame fame.
I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of The Gray Man, though, I have a question I've been wondering, and I wanted to ask you two.
He hasn't seen it.
Brad hasn't
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, but you can still probably answer this, I think. Who do you think is better looking, Ryan Gosling or Chris Evans?
Ooh,
Oh boy,
gosh, that's a good question.
I think it depends.
I think Chris Evans is more of a handsome everyman, and Ryan Gosling is more of he looks more like.
Is Chris Evans an everyman? Because if that's what every man looks like,
Yeah, we're fucked. We're so fucked.
screwed.
he just feels like somebody that like you could bump into on the street, whereas Ryan Gosling feels like a model.
Movie star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Ryan Gosling looks like,
and that's
I wouldn't want to talk to Ryan Gosling because I'm going to assume he's way cooler than me.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris Evans and I probably could find like dogs to talk about.
I feel like I would like to have a beer more with Chris Evans, and that's not to slight Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
I think they're both probably phenomenal humans, but Chris Evans just feels like, man, I'd like to shake his hand,
yeah,
maybe kiss him on the mouth.
yeah.
Anyway, no, classically handsome gentlemen, both of them.
And that's our game for the day.
Who would you rather kiss on the mouth?
So I watched The Dead Don't Die, but I also watched another movie, a movie that has been drumming up some controversy.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you about this because I've heard a lot about this movie already.
Yeah. I watched Tyler Perry's Medea
Goes to Jail.
Boo Halloween 2, I think it's
Ooh.
called. Whatever, I don't know. Anyway, no, I watched Blonde, which is the new movie by Andrew Dominic, director of the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
That is more than 5 syllables.
Hold on, I need to make sure that that's accurate.
I was
just wondering. I think it is. I think you're right.
I want to make sure I'm not confusing him with a different director.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. Because I remember seeing him talk about this film, like he kind of looks weird, and then you hear all the stuff coming out, and you're like, "Oh, I mean that fits."
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so this is the new Marilyn Monroe movie that's coming out that has Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe.
Who's also in The Gray Man.
Yes, she is also in The Gray Man. And this is a movie that has already been stirring up controversy because it is rated NC-17, and that rating doesn't come along very often unless there's some pretty graphic stuff in the movie. And so
There's some pretty graphic.
I say, was there some pretty graphic stuff?
One thing that I will say is so there's been a lot of complaints from people, mainly like longtime Marilyn Monroe fans, saying like how it's like doing this like unnecessarily risque depiction of her and that kind of thing. But it's people who haven't seen the movie yet. But I will say that there is definitely I think there are 3 specific instances that likely landed this movie an NC-17 rating, because there's some good old fashioned Hollywood sex and nudity in here for sure, and there's a little bit of female full frontal nudity, which usually starts getting you on the edge. There's not really any male nudity,
Of course
really,
not.
except for butts. When there's a sex scene between Ana de Armas and a couple of her lovers. But there are 3 fairly graphic scenes, and I won't describe what they are, but you'll know them when you see them.
Hard to miss.
But the thing about this movie is, it is not intended or presented as it's not meant to be an accurate factual depiction of Marilyn Monroe's life. It is very much dramatized, very much fictionalized, and it leans hard into the more risque, unsavory, tragic aspects of her life. This is not a fun movie by any means. There's not a moment of levity in this movie where you're like, oh, things might turn out okay for Marilyn Monroe. It is a relentless, brutal story of all of the worst things that happened to her and how upsetting her life was. And
Can't wait to see it.
Granted, some of this is undoubtedly based like in truth as far as like just how difficult she had it as a starlet.
But is that stuff true though?
So I'm sure that there is some stuff in this movie that is true, just based on things I have seen about Marilyn Monroe. But it is also amplified in such a way that it takes things to like a completely different level, especially in how it depicts some of her relationships, and also it's presented in a very surreal, abstract way at times too, where it really feels like he's trying hard to be like, oh, this is so deep. I'm just really just digging into Marilyn Monroe and painting this tragic portrait of this woman, and it just feels like,
but if it's not true,
but I don't mind.
I mean, her life is tragic at times.
I don't mind if it's not true, especially because her story is like kind of at this point it transcends Marilyn Monroe. There are countless women who have this story, especially in Hollywood, So I don't necessarily mind that.
But why call it Marilyn Monroe then?
It's not called that.
I know. But
Jesus Christ.
why use her as the main character then? If this is about somebody that, well, it could have happened to Marilyn Monroe.
I think it's the framework that it allows, and also it makes it more salacious, probably. I haven't read anything from Andrew Dominik about like this movie, like what his intentions were, why anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. The movie will definitely be controversial, and it's not one that you want to watch with the kids.
Let's talk about the quality though. How does
it's a very well made movie. So the one thing I will say is
and the acting's good.
All of my complaints are to say that the movie does a disservice to Ana de Armas's performance, who is fantastic as Marilyn Monroe. And it's not that she's.
I think you're biased.
It's not that she just does a great job. Having Marilyn Monroe's mannerisms and her voice and that kind of thing, but she's just the emotion that she pours in this performance is so powerful, and it really resonates and it hits hard, and that's the one thing that I think keeps you like entranced by this movie, because otherwise it's tough to watch. It really is tough to watch.
So. And I guess movies don't have to have a point, right? They don't. You can just make a film. But what do you think Andrew Dominik's point was for this film? Like, what was it, to tell the story of somebody that is historically relevant or historically memorable, and use her as kind of a foil for telling the story of women that get abused and used by powerful men? Is it, is there a deeper point you think that Andrew Dominik's trying to make in this film?
If there is, that to me is like what stands out, and that I think that's really what it could be. I would like, now that I have seen it, I want to go and read some of like the interviews he's done and read more about the movie and whatnot, and see if it like changes my perspective, makes me, not so critical of certain things, or makes me appreciate other aspects of the movie. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I would say it's a movie that's trying too hard to feel significant, and that it really didn't need to shoot for the moon so hard to tell such a tragic story.
Well, I can't wait to see it either, Ben.
It sounds like a real fun
just
time.
2 hours and 45 minutes of a woman just
Is it really that long?
Oh, it is that long.
Oh,
and you feel every single minute.
Are you feeling penitent?
90 minutes. 90 minutes, people.
Theater.
And if it's really good, make it 100.
Just pretend it's 2 movies.
Well, why not just make 2 movies? Why not just make it a series?
No, that's too much, buddy.
It's a long film.
So, I don't know.
So Blonde. It's coming out soon on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
It is.
That's where it's a Netflix movie?
Yes, it's a Netflix movie.
Gotcha.
It got picked up by Netflix after premiering at the Venice Film. Well, it was already bought by Netflix before that, but it premiered at the Venice Film Festival, and now it's coming to Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, like you said, though, in every way controversial. I've seen some film critics that say it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I've seen some film critics that say not so much, right? It's a mess. I saw, but and that might just be Andrew Dominik's directing style. I don't know enough about him, because some critics just don't like certain directors, right? And sometimes you resonate with certain directors that critics don't like. But it'll be interesting.
For example, Brad loves Michael Bay.
Well, yeah.
Who doesn't?
What's you say it like it's a bad thing?
Brett Ratner.
Okay, now we're gone too far.
we're bringing in our text thread now.
I love you, buddy.
It's a shame, because the Rush Hour movies are just a treat.
All of them? All 3 of them?
No.
I'm sorry. I just didn't understand the words that were coming out of your mouth.
All right. Better looking.
Brett Ratner or Harvey Weinstein?
Ooh.
Chris Tucker or Jackie Chan?
Ooh.
Chris Tucker by far. He's just such a...
Wow.
Yeah.
You're risking,
handsome.
You're risking being kind of anti-Asian there.
No.
I mean, just saying.
Well, if you went the other way, you would have said that he's anti-black.
Yeah,
so
I was ready for both of those.
I'd have locked them.
No, I mean, just seeing how good he looks as Ruby Rod in Fifth Element. I mean, yeah, it's Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Even when Jackie Chan wore a tuxedo in the Tuxedo.
Yeah.
I was still
still Chris Tucker.
Guys, we watched like literally 2 trailers.
Yeah,
I know. It was and 2 good trailers. I actually enjoyed these trailers.
Yes.
Trailer time, having some fun and watching some trailers. Ben and Brad and Nate and Brad watching some trailers.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is I thought I'd try one.
You know what I'm happy about?
You know what
I'm happy that you swung for the fence and you went for it.
And I'm glad that we didn't force you to do it.
You know what I really am unhappy with?
What?
That no one chimed in. Like that's the first time ever.
I think Nate and I were so shy.
I really was. I was taken back. I'm like,
we just wanted to see how it was going to go.
Always, like I was like, I'll do this, and then they'll chime in. It'll be funny.
What is?
But you didn't chime in at all. You left me hanging.
For it. Look at that, Benny's.
But you did it. But you did it all by yourself.
I didn't want you.
Don't you feel proud though?
No.
Don't you feel like a big boy?
You went for it.
I really thought, honestly, this is the stupid time where they always chime in. And neither one of you just sat there like,
that's more of like
this is like the whole like the situation when like you're trying to teach your kid how to dive and you just and you don't think that they don't think you're gonna let go, but then you do and they dive and they feel so proud of themselves.
I don't.
You went for it, and I'm so proud you did.
We watched Babylon.
We did. We watched the trailer for Babylon, which is a new movie from Damien Chazelle, the director of La La Land and Whiplash, two of my favorite movies of the previous decade.
Did you like 10 Cloverfield Lane? You did
yes.
That too.
No, he did not do that, actually. That's Dan Trachtenberg who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I thought he did that one.
No, he did not.
Oh. Did he write it? Did he write it?
I don't think so.
I'm going to look it up. Go ahead. Move on.
Anyway, you know that this is a Damien Chazelle movie because it's got jazz in it. Damien Chazelle loves his jazz.
Damien Chazelle did do the screenplay.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
So
Sorry.
Dan
I'm not an idiot. I am an idiot. But
no, just half.
Yeah.
I do remember that there was a little bit of jazz in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I think you're right.
He played a jazz record.
Yeah, it's probably true.
That's true.
But yeah, so this is a 1920s, 1930s set Hollywood story. Feels like it has kind of a Great Gatsby vibe to it in a way.
It's before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? It's set before that.
Yeah, because that was in the 50s.
Yeah,
or 60s. I think.
Yeah, but still telling stories about Hollywood in an era that we don't recognize. Not
that we don't recognize. I mean, it's just that maybe we're not quite as familiar with it.
If I'm not familiar with it, I mean, I don't know it, so I'm going to see it and be like, I didn't know.
But you could, if you watch this movie, you know, like what era they're depicting. You know,
you might.
You did.
No, he just said it was like the 90s.
I said this happened at like Melrose Place time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Peach Pit.
Yikes. But yeah, so this.
And by the way, I watched this trailer and I love this trailer. And
it's because there's boobs in it.
No, but I still don't know what it's about.
Yeah, it's very much in it kind of just establishes the mood and the vibe, and like it's going to be like a wild, cocaine fueled like romp. I feel like this feels like it's going to be a depiction of classic Hollywood that we haven't really seen on this level before. Because like a lot of the times it feels like it's such a everyone's wearing tuxedos and we're going to the fine movie premiere and you got a sparkling dress and we're going to go out here and maybe we'll date 13-year-old girls.
Whoa!
But like this feels like it'll really dig into like
you really threw that one in there.
Well, it's something that people did back in the
Jerry Lee Lewis.
So just start calling them out by name, boys.
So I think this will really dig into like the seedier, like oh man, people were so fucking ripped on drugs and alcohol like so much during this time, and like it's glitz and glamour, but it's also glitz and glamour with like bloodshot eyes and throwing up and doing quaaludes all the time.
I read something about this, and it says the opening scene of the film, expected to last 30 minutes of this opening scene, is going to be.
So we're talking like a deer hunter wedding.
Will feature Fellini-esque debauchery and graphic imagery involving a long orgy reminiscent of films such as Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut.
All right, favorite movie of the year.
I'm like, well, Brad's in.
I will
double feature with this and the Marilyn Monroe movie. Now we're talking.
I do love Fellini, by the way. Fellini movies are fantastic. He's
so it sounds like director. As well as like you said, it's going to be a different kind of film in every way, right? It's going to tell a story that we don't know,
and probably more different than anything Damien Chazelle has done before, too.
Maybe, yeah. And so it'll be interesting.
Great cast: Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. Who else, Nate? You got it up there?
Yeah, Diego Calva, who I'm not familiar with.
Him either, but looks like a handsome gentleman.
Yeah, Gene Smart, which I always love. Lucas Haas, Tobey Maguire, who's a producer on this film as well. Samara Weaving, Chloe Feynman, Ben's favorite SNL cast member. It is an ensemble cast. I mean, it is a really, and there's other ones too that I didn't read, but it just looks really good. Brad Pitt looks great in it. Like it looks like
he looks good in everything. I mean,
no, he looks like this is a part for him. Like he's gonna do really well.
Damien Chazelle.
Yes. Yes.
And Emma Stone was supposed to do this before Margot Robbie.
Indeed, she was.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it. Ben, are you interested in this movie at all? How do you feel about La La Land and Whiplash and Jazz?
And all that jazz.
Damien Chazelle is just sitting at his computer, like, interior bunker.
Jazz.
John Goodman's character puts on a jazz record. Oh, it writes itself, guys. I liked La La Land. I'm not a huge musical guy, but I liked La La Land. I loved Whiplash. I thought that was a fantastic film.
You say you're not a huge musical guy, but I've heard more about Sean Hayes'
oh my God,
from you than anybody.
That's not a musical.
He plays the piano and sings, doesn't he?
No, he plays the piano.
Oh, he doesn't sing?
Mm-mm. It's a play, not a musical.
Oh, I thought you said there's a song that's played that your dad cried.
No, it's a line.
Oh.
It's a line in the play where he says,
I wish I could love my son.
City in the Funny Papers.
All right.
That's what his uncle used to say back in the day.
But I feel like you could be more of a musical play person if you had better access to him.
I enjoy going with Bailey. She really enjoys musicals, and I have enjoyed myself at the theater watching a few. But I don't gravitate toward them on my own. La La Land was fine. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it.
Have you seen Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, guys, they're fine.
There's a
like
new
Disney
musical out
musicals,
called
don't you?
Hamilton. Have you seen it?
Yeah, Hamilton's great.
You like Disney musicals, don't you?
Sure.
You sound exasperated.
I just don't care that much. Why are you forcing me to
There's a lot of really good musicals out there, buddy.
Hey, by the way,
they're fine.
We just want you to see things that are good.
I refuse to believe you don't like musicals because I heard the song that you sang for the trailers. And that was as good as any Stephen Sondheim musical.
Like musicals. I just said they're fine.
I don't.
Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about right
Musicals.
now? Yeah,
we're just trying to get you mad. That's all we're doing.
Whiplash is good. Like
Whiplash is pretty musical.
He's gonna beat
I
you.
hate you so much.
The jazz acts as like
and all that jazz.
Yeah, do you like Chicago?
It's about the psychological terror that you don't commit. You see what I did there? Because it's J.K. Simmons. All right. Anyway, no, I'm excited. This movie looks debaucherous, and that's why I like it.
You do love debauchery.
I really do. I really do. No, it looks super fun, honestly.
I don't know if it looks fun to me. Like it looks something
chaotic.
It looks something.
It looks
to me,
chaotic.
Yeah.
It looks wild.
I'm
intoxicating to me. Like there's something about it that makes me want to see it, and it doesn't look funny. But there's some parts that part where Margot Robbie's like, "Who wants to see me fight a snake?" Yeah. At the end, I'm like,
it looks like the Wolf of Hollywood and Vine.
Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah, sure.
I guess I'll give it.
Margot Robbie, cocaine,
okay,
breasts.
Sure. Okay, easy there.
It's coming.
But that comes out December 25th. It's a Christmas present to Brad.
Yes.
Yes.
I will see it. I will hopefully. I'm going to see it as soon as I can too, because I love me some La La Land and some Whiplash. So.
You do love La La Land.
And some Margot Robbie.
And
who doesn't love Margot Robbie?
Yeah. We also watched the trailer for Wendell Wild, which is a new movie coming to Netflix as well. And it is a stop-motion animated movie from director Henry Selick, who is most famous for directing
Selick.
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which everybody thought was directed by
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton movie.
Yes, that's a common misconception. It's produced by Tim Burton, but it is directed by Henry Selick, as is Coraline.
And James and the Giant Peach, which I really love.
Yes, and all fantastic stop-motion animation movies. He really is a genius when it comes to this stuff.
Don't do what I did and look up the trailer for this movie by typing in Wild trailer, because I thought it was Wendell trailer.
There's like 100 movies.
You said Wendell and Wild, and so I thought it was the trailer. I thought we were watching 3 trailers.
Oh, so you thought we were watching Babylon, Wendell and Wild.
Because you know what? You need an Oxford comma in there.
Actually, you don't, because it's 2 different titles. You don't need a comma for that.
But this was written by Key and Peele too, right?
Yeah, and they also provide voices in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so they seem to be intimately involved in this film. Yes. I mean, they don't direct it, but they are involved in the screenplay. They're involved in all that kind of stuff.
It's a good trailer because it doesn't give away much.
Yeah.
But it still gets me interested.
And because it's a Leica movie, they're the ones who did Coraline and Paranorman and the Box Trolls and whatnot. The visuals in it are absolutely incredible.
Gorgeous.
I'm always amazed at what they're able to do with stop motion animation, like just the detail they can put into things and just like the set pieces they can create. And it's just such a meticulous art.
I got a question for you guys. So this is the second ever stop motion film that is rated PG-13. Can you tell me what the first one is?
First stop motion picture animated film to get the PG-13.
Correct.
The Corpse Bride.
No. Do you want me to give you a clue or no? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. it came out within the last 5 years?
9.
No, that was
No, that was
animation.
older, and that's older.
I tried. Guys, I'm trying.
No, that's good to guess.
Was it?
I like 9 actually.
I don't think it's any of the Leica movies, so I'm not sure what
Kubo
it is.
and the Two Strings.
No, that's a Leica movie, and that wasn't PG-13.
Nope.
I don't know.
Isle of Dogs.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Yep.
Good old Wes Anderson.
Good old.
So only the second ever though stop motion film, and you guys just named a bunch of them that's been PG-13. So which should add a little bit of fun to it, honestly.
Yeah.
Indeed.
A little bit more risque than normal.
So this is it's as we said, it's a stop motion animation movie. It just played at the Toronto International Film Festival. It's coming to Netflix in October, I believe, on the 28th. And so basically the premise is it's 2 scheming demon brothers named Wendell and Wild, who are voiced by Keegan and Michael Key and Jordan Peele, who enlist the aid of a 13-year-old girl named Kat Elliott, and to summon them to the land of the living.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How are the critics? How are the critics responding?
The reactions have been great so far. I mean, like, the critics pretty much always, love what Henry Selick is doing with stop motion animation. He just he really knocks it out of the park whenever he makes movies like this. So I am very excited to see this movie.
Hey, it's the kickoff of Halloween, so we're going to see a lot more horror trailers, and this is great.
It's true. I actually this trailer came out a little while ago. I specifically saved it until we got closer to October.
When does it release?
I just said it a second ago.
Sorry, I was looking up. You know what I saw something. I'm like, oh, starring Ving Rhames. Oh, wow! And then I lost my train of thought.
He does have a voice in it, but it comes out on Netflix on October 28th.
Thank you. Oh, that's why so close to Halloween? Why not like a little?
Did you watch the trailer?
I did. Why not though?
But why not like have it October 1st?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
all the October people.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Like marketing wise,
like get me into the season.
Hey, a Christmas movie debuting on Christmas.
Yeah, by the time
that happens all the time.
Yeah, but don't do that. Do it on the 13th.
Thank you.
So there's a run up, and you can make
December
money on
25th, 26th, I'm done almost.
There's already a bunch of other horror movies coming out earlier in the month. It's Netflix, so they don't have to like beat the rush to theaters. It comes out on a streaming service, and if it comes out a couple days before Halloween, people are going to watch it because hey, it's Halloween.
I don't know. I just feel like if it came out 3 weeks before, my kids would watch it 20 times.
Guess what? I'm pretty sure your kids are going to fucking watch it 20 times no matter when it comes out.
No, they won't. Because the day after Halloween,
they're
I get
watch
into Christmas.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and they're just going to watch that ad nauseum, as always.
Listen, I don't know.
I just talk to somebody. You know people. Talk to somebody.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to tell them to release it a little bit early. 5 days early.
Hey, Netflix.
5 days.
Pastor Nate Laux wants to see
you don't
this
even have to tell him I'm
stop motion animated Halloween movie.
Don't use that card yet. Don't use the card yet.
Don't take the Lord's name.
And see if they're responding. If they don't respond,
then we go
threaten
Jesus.
that he's also a reverend.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you. Right, basically, what they're going to send me back is a shrug emoji.
You don't know that until you try.
Yeah.
You know they might do that with your bad attitude right now.
Hey, you want another humble bread?
Oh, dear God.
Why do we have him on the show?
I interviewed Keegan Michael Key last week.
How'd that go? Was he nice? Or no?
He was incredibly nice. It was so
fake
easy.
nice though, because I can't determine if he's fake nice or real nice.
I thought that Brad was going to say it was incredibly off-putting how nice he was.
No, he was not fake nice at all. Like he just has a very natural, charismatic banter about him. It was so easy to talk to him. Like I could have talked to him for the longest.
I've got a question for you too. So
more.
No, this isn't a
King
who would
Michael
you, yeah
or Margot Robbie.
Or Margot Robbie.
No, this isn't that question. Do you think because again, Key and Peele kind of came up a little bit together in this? They hit Hollywood. They got popular through their show. Jordan Peele's. I mean, he's a big deal right now in film and all these things. Keegan Michael Key's doing some good things, but he's not as big. Do you think there's jealousy there?
Because I think that they're both doing different things. I think Keegan Michael Key doesn't have the ambitions that Jordan Peele does when it comes to
life.
Wow. When it comes to filmmaking, Jordan Peele has been wanting to do this for a long time. I think Keegan Michael Key is more so he likes the acting side and the performing side more. He's still doing some writing and producing.
And I loved him in Schmingadoon.
Because I interviewed him for Hulu's new show Reboot that's coming out. It's created by Steve Levitan of Modern Family fame. He's also done Wings and Frasier and a bunch of stuff. And so he not only stars in that movie, but he's a producer on it. And so this I think is his wheelhouse. Is very much creating, producing, occasionally writing and starring and stuff. I just don't think he has the at least right now, not the ambition to direct. I think he's very much, and I think television is probably his stronger suit when it comes to that too. I don't think there's any like film ambitions there.
And Jordan Peele clearly has a voice, right? And so like that's rare, I think, honestly, to have a voice as a director
and a distinct voice.
Yes,
too.
and so like you knew it, right? You knew it, and then by the second film, you're like, oh, this is a Jordan Peele film, right? And you don't have a lot of directors where you can say that's their film, right? That is their story, that is clearly them. And so I can see that. I think it's a unique gift that Jordan Peele has.
And I will say you should check out Reboot. By the time you hear this podcast, the first 3 episodes are out on Hulu. It's a super funny show. It's about a cast of a like late 90s, early 2000s sitcom, fake one, called Step Right Up, that is a riff on like Full House and Step by Step and Family Matters, and they decide to revive it for a modern audience with the same cast, which is it's Keegan-Michael Key, Judy Greer, Johnny Knoxville, Caleb Worthy, who was in a movie called Bodied, and they're the family in this movie, and they bring them all back, and like it deals with all of their like personal baggage and like stuff that's happened in their career since then, and their dynamics since they're all older now, and there's an old romance between Keegan-Michael Key and Judy Greer, which makes things complicated.
Is one of them by far and away more successful than all the others?
No, actually, that's the thing is they've all they've all kind of just like sputtered out. So like none of them like, but Keegan-Michael Key is like he's been trying to be a serious actor, and so like and the Caleb Worthy is the kid who like he did a bunch of Disney Channel movies, and now he's older and awkward. He's not the cute kid anymore. But it has a surprising amount of heart to it too. It's a really and it's edgy. It's not like a network safe comedy, where it feels like they're.
It's not Modern Family.
Yeah, they're dropping F-bombs. There's like a lot of raunchy jokes in it, and it's a lot of fun. It's really good. I was impressed by how good it was.
I can't wait. I saw the trailer to that, and I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Reboot. Wendell and Wild. I think it looks very cool.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I'm down.
I'm down.
Just wish it came out a little bit earlier.
Early October would be better. So listen.
You're gonna be watching so many other horror movies.
Bailey and I do that thing every October where we try to watch one horror movie that we've never seen every day in October.
Hey, that's
a lot.
We never do it, but we try.
Yep. Let's do a thing for our recommendations in October. They need to be scary movies.
Oh, I like that. And actually, Brad,
and then in Christmas, December we'll do Christmas.
Do you want to hear what Brad's first movie in October will be then?
What?
Because we're not there yet, but we'll be there. You know what? Maybe I'll save it. No, I'll tell you. I got you a DVD copy of Misery.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're so
you
nice.
can actually do it. But I will wait. It won't be your next recommendation, but in 2 recommendations, we'll give you that movie and you can watch it.
Couldn't get a Blu-ray copy?
It is a Blu-ray copy.
Oh, there
Jesus
we go.
Christ.
Well, I mean, hey, there's a big difference in quality.
Oh, my word.
Oh, my God. Gift horse. Here's the mouth. There's a look right in there.
Hey, I don't want it.
First of all, I don't want a pixelated gift horse.
I am not even joking. I literally I wavered between the two because I'm like, well, it's just a fucking movie that he's gonna complain. I better get the Blu-ray. And here we are.
It's worth the extra $7.
It was. And it was like seriously $13 or $22, and I was like, but I have to. Buy
Here's the thing. If you wouldn't have told me now on the podcast, I wouldn't have complained when I received it. But it's because you specifically said DVD.
Because I'm an old man. I just mean DVD. I mean the thing you put in physical media.
I actually wouldn't have cared.
It's a laser disc.
I wouldn't have cared.
I doubt
in public.
You would have like privately been like, wow, DVD, thanks.
This is awkward. I bought you the VHS.
Is this really awkward? He would have said, is this the coaster that I put my drink on while you're giving me the Blu-ray?
Oh, this is cute. A nice movie-themed coaster. Well, that's good because I actually my mom was actually watching Misery recently, and I left the room because I was like, look, I'm supposed to watch this at some point.
Wait, so your mom can find it? Your mom can find it?
No, it was playing on Sundance TV.
Oh,
yeah.
Why didn't you DVR it?
Because it's not edited on Sundance TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we tried.
Did you though?
Hey, Brad, you got a movie game for us, everybody?
I was supposed to.
Did you really forget it?
I forgot the trivia cards at home.
Jesus Christ!
But we haven't played Last Man Standing in a while, so I think we should do that. Actually, anyway.
Fair enough.
We can do that, or do another question from the one podcast.
That is a little bit more fun than playing games. Not that I think we should bail on the games all the time.
But we don't have a game, so all right. You guys want to do one of these questions from Films to Be Buried With?
We can probably have time for both.
Okay.
We'll see how this conversation goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a dud.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
What film is legitimately terrible, but you love it?
legitimately terrible film.
Like, if somebody said, hey, I want to see a good film, and you'd be like, I'm not recommending this one because it's not a good film. I love it, but I'm not going to recommend it. It's not a good film. But you love it. And you just, for some reason, I know what you guys can choose. Mission Impossible 1.
Go fuck yourself.
I think you mean
with a
flicks.
cactus.
I think you mean flicks.
With a cactus.
The first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, and you can come up with more than one if you want.
Sure,
But like,
the first thing that comes to mind is a Vin Diesel movie from the early 2000s called A Man Apart.
Really?
I've never seen it.
It's got Vin Diesel as a DEA agent that goes undercover and like gets his man, and then of course the cartel comes and kills his wife, and it's a revenge film. And it's got Lorenz Tate in it as his like partner, and it's just exactly what you think it is. He's like, I gotta do this by myself. It's so bad, but I loved it so much, and I just watched it again like a year or two ago, and I was like, I still like this movie, and I would never recommend it.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, never. But I really like it. So
what's it called again?
A Man Apart.
All right.
It's just so bad.
In the same vein, I if I think about it, I can think of probably a couple more because I do like pretty bad films usually. In the same vein, 2004, there was a film that came out starring a young Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rundown?
No.
The
Walking
Scorpion
Tall?
King.
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall. I'll defend that. That's not a bad movie. No, I'm right there with you. I like that movie.
I love that film.
I like that movie a lot.
And I watched it again, kind of like you. Sometime over the pandemic, I watched it like, oh, this is really
This
cheesy.
is bad, but I like this.
But this is so good. I love it. I love The Rock is like just a purely good guy, but he's kicking everyone's butt.
And that movie is a remake of a remake of a remake. They've done Walking Tall since like the 40s. Like
Giant Knoxville's in it, it's
so fun.
Neil McDonough, who plays a great villain, because he's kind of albino, and so you just don't trust him.
He also becomes he's a villain in the Fast and the Furious movies, I believe, eventually, right?
I don't know. I've not seen all of them, but so that's a legitimate. Let me think of some other ones.
Dwayne Johnson?
You know what?
You weren't listening.
No. I missed something.
Here's another film that I think is a legitimately bad film that I love. It's called Rat Race.
Oh no, I was thinking of Cole Hauser.
Oh, Cole Hauser.
Because he was the bad guy in the Fast and the Furious, in Too Fast, Too Furious.
So what about you?
Too fast.
Brad, what is the...
Too furious. I'm too fast for y'all.
They say that.
He says on the song.
A couple times.
Chris Ludacris Bridges.
By the way, Ludacris, awesome artist.
Do you really love Luda?
I really do. I respect
You love Luda?
I really do.
Do you like him better as a musical artist or do you like him better as an actor?
No, better as a musical artist, for sure. Yeah.
Like, give me a Luda song.
Area codes? You remember that from the back?
Sing it.
He had hoes in different area codes.
No, but that's how
Got hoes in different area codes.
I don't think I know that.
No, okay. Anyway,
Sounds like
keep going. I want you to keep going.
It was a good bumper, like with country grammar from Nelly, like back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brad, what about you? Terrible movie.
So, this is a pretty bad movie, but I love it. Because,
Which, by the way, was the question.
Yeah. I want to make it clear, this is not a good movie.
Okay, so this is a movie.
You're literally answering the question.
But I really enjoy it.
Movies that you really... Okay, go.
Batman Forever.
No, you don't.
You don't like
love.
that.
No,
I love Batman Forever because both Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are just going balls to the wall with craziness as the villains in the movie.
I refuse to believe you love that
The
movie.
Riddler and Two-Face together are so much fun. I know if I'm sitting and watching Batman Forever, I watched it so many times as a kid on VHS. I know the movie by heart still. I can do Jim Carrey's speeches right along with him. I love Batman Forever, but I will fully recognize and admit that it is a bad Batman movie. It's not as bad as Batman and Robin, which I don't really like. But Batman Forever, I truly love Batman Forever.
Do you really?
Both Joel Schumacher
and you're willing
pieces
to?
of shit.
Are you gonna cut this out? I'm sure you're gonna cut that out, aren't you?
No. This is legit.
Right.
Full on legit.
Nate, what do you got, buddy?
I got more. I did answer.
Wait, what was your answer?
Walking Tall.
Yeah.
No, but I've got.
That's a good movie though. So
I got plenty more. So another film I love because I love Will Ferrell so much, and for some reason I watched this film and I've watched it more than a few times. Is a film from 2009 that Will Ferrell did. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about?
2009.
Yep.
2009,
starring Will Ferrell and Danny McBride.
Oh, I love Land of the Lost.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Actually, Brad is a defender.
Critically
No,
panned.
I'm a huge defender of that movie. I don't think it's a very good Land of the Lost movie. I think it's a hilarious comedy.
I just think
though.
it's so funny.
It's so funny.
It is. Thank you so much for laughing at that because
No, seriously.
everyone I tell is like, you liked that
No,
movie?
I think Land of the Lost is hilarious. And I think people.
I don't know anything about the Land of the Lost series, so I went in just, but it is so funny. Will Ferrell's great in it. Danny McBride's great.
Yeah.
They set these great worlds up, and the scenarios are funny.
It's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. In a similar vein, this isn't a movie that I personally don't think it's bad. I think you can pick apart some of the story. It didn't quite make sense. But this movie didn't really get much praise from critics whatsoever when it came out. And that's The Watch, with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn and Jonah Hill.
That movie was dead.
It came out at the worst time because this was during the George Zimmerman shooting neighborhood watch thing.
I've seen this on Netflix as a suggested title, and I've never watched it because I'm like, it can't be. It
really did happen right. I mean, they were marketing this movie right.
The movie was called Neighborhood Watch, but then Neighborhood Watch was all over because
Trayvon Martin was killed,
and so they changed it to The Watch,
and it just went. They kind of just slowly released it to nothing,
and it just hit at a time when people were having a hard time laughing at something this ridiculous when there was something so serious going on with similar stuff. But this is such a silly sci-fi comedy, and it has the kind of R-rated freewheeling improvised flair. The dialogue between everybody is so fast and funny. There's one particular scene in this movie that is it's so silly, but it makes me laugh every time. They're having a meeting of these people for the first time, of the first meeting of the Neighborhood Watch, and Vince Vaughn is in Ben Stiller's house, and he finds a thing of nesting dolls sitting on a shelf, and he's like, what is this? And he opens it up, and he's like, there's another one inside, and he keeps opening. He's like, don't tell me there's another one here. I'm gonna, and he opens it up, and he keeps going, and he gets to the one where it's really tiny, and he just in complete silence and bewilderment, he's just like, oh my god, he's joyously to discover that there's another tiny doll inside of it. I just love it so much. But no, Nate, I think you would like The Watch.
You also like Paul.
Paul's great.
And so I think you have something for these weird little sci-fi.
It's Paul the Alien one.
Yeah, with Seth Rogen as the alien.
It's okay.
I will say it does feel like it's trying to be an Edgar Wright movie, but it's not quite as good. But I do think it does some clever things with sci-fi alien tropes and stuff like that. And the cast is great too. I mean, sure. Aside from Seth Rogen and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as the main characters, you got Jason Bateman, Bill Hader, Joe Latruglio, Sigourney Weaver. A great cameo by Steven Spielberg. It's a lot of fun. It's not perfect, but I think it's really funny. And the visual effects are surprisingly still good. Paul, as a computer-generated character, looks amazing today still.
It is okay. There's another film that I can think of that I really, really love that I've seen so many times. It was introduced to me by my brother. I remember him coming home from college and saying, "You got to watch this film," because he's 5 years older than me, and he's like, "I think you'd really like it." And I was in maybe a senior in high school and maybe a junior, and so I watched this film and I loved it, and I've watched it multiple times since then. And I can't find anybody else that really loves this movie, but it's called The 13th Warrior. Did you ever see it?
I haven't seen it.
With Antonio Banderas?
Yes. And so it's based on a Michael Crichton book. It's problematic. There are things in there.
It's problematic.
There are things in there that probably aren't true, right?
No.
But I love this film. It's so much fun. It is kind of a little bit of an epic film, but also a weirdly kind of a war kind of film, but based in the 1200s or something. I don't know. A long time ago in the Nordic countries.
In a land in a castle far, far away.
But Antonio Banderas does so well. He does so well in this.
I will admit,
so much fun.
Just as a genre of film.
It opened the same week as The Sixth Sense, by the way.
And that's why it didn't do well.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
No, most Arnold Schwarzenegger films for me fall into this category where I have a soft spot for the guy. I love his films, but of all of his films that are bad, I mean, because there are good ones like the Terminator series, True Lies. That's a great film.
Yep. Kindergarten Cop,
Predator, of course.
Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop's great. But there's a movie called End of Days. And it's like I don't even know, maybe 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just everyone trounced it. It's terrible. And I really like that film. I think that it's actually not bad.
I enjoyed that movie when I was younger. I haven't watched it since I was in middle school, probably.
It's about the end of days. Nate, maybe look into it.
There was a film that came out with Reese Witherspoon and who was it? I watched it the other day because I'm like, my daughter's 14, just in high school now. And I'm like, oh no, I actually owned this DVD at one point. It was really good. I cannot remember. It's starring her and Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, it's the romantic comedy.
Just Like Heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that film.
It's cute.
It's actually really charming.
It's adorable.
And it's terrible. It's critically panned. It's not any good. But like, for some reason, I love that film.
I don't know if this movie was critically panned, but this is a movie. So there are a few movies that I watched when I was a kid because they like felt edgy and like a little bit risque, and I felt maybe like I shouldn't be watching them. And sometimes
the Land Before Time series.
Sometimes it was because like I was a high school, like I was a teenager raging full of hormones, and I was like, oh, well, let's see if there's some nudity in this movie, And so like there's a movie called Trojan War. Did you guys ever see this?
No.
It's with the guy who plays Ben Savage's older brother in Boy Meets World.
Wait. That guy was in something else other than.
So actually,
yeah, much like Zachary Ty Bryan, who was in Tokyo Drift.
So
it's called what again?
It's called Trojan War.
In 1997 film.
Will Friedle is the guy who plays, and so actually, funnily enough,
it's got a young Jennifer Love Hewitt in it.
It does. So Will Friedle, first of all, he has, I think it's agoraphobia, maybe, and so he doesn't like to go out very much. So it's kind of
is that what happened to him?
Kind of. It was kind of a big deal that they convinced him to do.
Like Boyd doesn't like to meet world.
Okay. So it's kind of a big deal.
That's not a bad joke.
Kind of a big deal that they got him to do Girl Meets World to begin with, but he's actually a very accomplished voice actor. He does tons of cartoon work.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, Will Friedle stars in this movie, and he really likes this girl played by Marley Shelton. She's in Scream 4. She's been in a bunch of stuff. You would recognize her if you saw her. She's like the hot girl, and he gets a chance to...
Wendy Peppercorn.
Yes, good call. He gets a chance to maybe hook up with her, but she's kind of a vapid, shallow girl, and he's just like blinded by how beautiful she is. Meanwhile, Jennifer Love Hewitt is like his friend who like he probably likes it but doesn't realize it yet, and she's a little bit more of like a tomboy, and so he doesn't see it yet. But the entire movie is about him following him across a night, trying to get a condom so that he can have sex with this girl that he supposedly likes.
Oh, Trojan!
And so he keeps getting into this series of crazy mishaps, and it is a very silly, bad movie. But I watched it so many times when I was younger just because it was funny and like fun to watch. But it's not good. And along those same lines. Not quite. This one isn't quite as risky.
Wait, no, I gotta go. I don't want you to move on from Trojan War real quick because I just found something on this Wikipedia page. The film was released in only a single movie theater and was pulled after only 1 week. It earned a total of $309.
Wow!
Against a production budget of $15 million.
It feels like a straight-to-video movie.
But
$15 million?
There are people though in that, like, right? There's Will Friedle, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Marley Shelton, Danny Masterson, Jason Marsden, Eric Balfour, Lee Majors. Like those are people.
Yeah,
right?
Anthony Michael Hall has a cameo in it.
Yeah, those are Danny Trejo.
Yep. Yeah.
So I mean,
Machete Kills.
But he's been in every film since then. But there are legitimate people in this film.
Another movie that I watched when I was younger that isn't like the best. It's not particularly risky or anything like that, but it's called Overnight Delivery with Reese Witherspoon and Paul Rudd.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's shockingly that I'm not.
Reese Witherspoon just in all the rom-coms with all the MCU.
This came out in like the late 90s. I want to say it was 1998.
Oh my word, this is old. I've never even like...
Yeah, 1998. And so basically, Paul Rudd plays this guy. He's in college. Reese Witherspoon plays a stripper. They cross paths because he's trying to get across country to retrieve a package that he impulsively sent to his girlfriend as like a revenge kind of thing. But he realizes he doesn't want to send it to her, and so he keeps trying to track the package down. And so they end up on this like cross country road trip with each other reluctantly, and like they become friends.
What's it called?
Overnight Delivery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also starring Christine Taylor. And Sarah Silverman.
Yeah,
nice.
I've never even heard of this movie. That's shocking.
Yeah, and Reese Witherspoon at this time too. She kind of had like a like an edgy girl kind of feel to her because she was brunette at the time, and they make her like, because she's a stripper, they make her feel like she's like a little bit, dangerous for Paul Rudd's character, and so it's like it's a lot of fun.
I also love the movie Four Christmases.
Nate.
I do.
I went to see this movie with my family reluctantly at Christmas one time because it was the only Christmas movie everyone else wanted to see.
You got to understand, I love Vince Vaughn for some reason.
I do too, but that movie is terrible.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad, and I love it. I watch it every Christmas. I love it.
It is Christmas trash.
Every Christmas
I watch it. It's got Jon Favreau and it's got Vince Vaughn, who both of those I love.
If I had to watch that movie every Christmas, it'd be more like Surviving Christmas.
Oh, not even close to the worst.
It'd be
Christmas
more like
movie
Christmas
I
with
watch
the
every
Cranks.
Because I'd be cranky.
Yeah, I'd be real fucking cranky.
It'd be more like Die Hard because I'd want to kill myself.
It'd be more like The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You guys don't even
a fucking nightmare.
I've told you this. You guys don't even know how many Christmas movies I've watched.
Oh no,
I know.
It's a humble Nate.
I can't wait until he starts assigning us shit.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun.
Dean Cain Saves Christmas.
I'd watch it.
Oh no, thank you.
Nah, he's got some good ideas.
you just gotta listen to him, man. You gotta listen, like open up your mind a little bit, and then like.
Well, guys, that's the podcast. We've had such a good time talking about terrible actors, Dean Cain, and movies that we're defending some movies. That's all.
Oh boy,
it's been fun.
Well, thanks for listening.
It's been time to go for a while, so let's get out of here.
I mean, not for a while, but yeah, thank you for listening. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, what have you, and just rate us some 5 stars. Tell your friends about the podcast. We appreciate you listening. And
soon, a couple weeks, we're going to be bringing back the
10 to 1 podcast.
So if you're not subscribed to that, go ahead and subscribe to it. Get ready for our first episode of that.
Our Saturday Night Live podcast, the first new episode of Saturday Night Live.
Very excited about
on
new season.
October 1st, the new season with 4 new cast members,
and
7 fewer cast members from the previous season.
So do the math yourself.
Yeah.
Well, for Nate and Brad, I'm Ben. This has been Go Flix Yourself. Enjoy your night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?